Okay, here's a little video about reporting verbs. This is hopefully it will help you to do the exercises related to reporting verbs in Unit 11. And I'm just going to explain to you. We started talking about this the other day with the verbs say and tell. These are the most common reporting verbs that we have. And here's an example. If your friend Jenny says, I'm hungry, okay, you can report it with the verb say. Jenny said she was hungry. Or the verb tell. Jenny told us she was hungry. Now notice there's a difference in the verb pattern here. We need an object with the verb tell. Okay, so Jenny told us she was hungry. Here's another example. Tom says, I ate all of the chips. Okay, with say, Tom said he had eaten all of the chips, or Tom told us he had eaten all of the chips. Okay, those are the different verb patterns, but notice also that with reported speech, we take everything into the past. Okay, not always, but typically yes. So with present simple, we take it into the past simple. The example that we saw where Jenny said, I'm hungry. Jenny said she was hungry. Or with present perfect and past simple, we take it into the past perfect. I have eaten all of the chips becomes Tom said he'd eaten all of the chips. The present perfect becomes the past perfect. With modal verbs, we also have to take them into the past. So if someone says, I will help you, we have to change will to would. Okay, Jenny said she would help us. And can becomes could. Okay, but let's look at the other reporting verbs, because as I said the other day in class, we don't just have to use say and tell. Okay, we can be more descriptive and more colorful in our languages. And in this unit, we're looking at several different verbs. You don't have to memorize all of these, but it is good to recognize that there are different categories of verb patterns, and we have to be aware of them. Okay, and we learn these through practice. Okay, here are the different categories that we're looking at today. Okay, we have verbs that are followed by a clause, with or without that. Verbs that are followed by a person plus a clause. Verbs that are followed by an infinitive with to. Verbs that are followed by a person with a to infinitive. Verbs that are followed by a verb plus ing with or without a preposition. And verbs that are followed by a person plus a verb plus ing with or without a preposition. Okay, let's look at examples. Here are verbs that are followed by a clause. Okay, and let's look at some examples of this. The thief admitted that he'd stolen the painting. Okay, what did the thief originally say? I stole the painting, right? Instead of using say or tell, we use a more descriptive and colorful word, admit. The thief admitted that he had stolen the painting. The fortune teller predicted that we would get married soon. Okay, let's look at another category, a verb plus a person plus that clause. Dad promised me that we would go to a movie. Okay, you promise someone, and then the clause. Our host reassured us that the air conditioning would soon be fixed. Okay, you reassure someone, plus that clause. Here is another category, verbs followed by the infinitive with to. Examples. We asked to join the club. She promised not to give away the surprise. Now, I should point out here, these words can also be used in a different category, followed by a that clause. In the case of promise, it's promise someone plus a that clause. Here was the example. Remember, Dad promised me that we would go to a movie. okay? But you can also use promise without the object, but then you have to follow it with the infinitive. She promised not to give away the surprise. Another category, a verb plus a person plus an infinitive. Example, they convinced him to try the food. She reminded her daughter to get ready for the appointment. Okay. Another category, the verb plus another verb plus ing. Here are some examples. Here are some verbs that are in this category. They suggested trying the new restaurant. Now, we don't say they suggested us trying the new restaurant. No, they suggested trying the new restaurant. Okay. He apologized for arriving late. Okay, here we have a preposition. He apologized for something. And another category, the verb plus a person plus the verb plus ing. They accused Mel of stealing the flowers. The instructor warned the students against scuba diving alone. Okay, so these are just some examples. We have several verbs to look at and learn. I hope that you do the exercises, and if you have any questions, please let me know in the question forums or during class next week.